Our fire chief is going to be monitoring it every couple of minutes, so if we have to stop, that's the reason, and we'll go shelter here. Okay?
And it is not a watch, it's an active warning.
Yeah, until like 7:30, I believe.
That's your emergency evacuation route.
All right, with that, I'd like to call the Common Council meeting to honor. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Moment of prayer. No tornadoes. Thank you.
Mayor Tutai,
Here.
President Brickner,
Here.
Alderman Wadawa,
Here.
Alderman Fire,
Here.
Alderwoman Fliss,
Here.
and Alderwoman Calderon is excused this evening.
Telephonic meeting, none.
The meeting has been properly posted and noticed.
Public hearings, none. Presentation, none. Consent agenda, is there any older person that'd like anything removed?
I'll move to approve the consent agenda, Mayor.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Recommendation of action from committees, commissions, and boards. Action to be taken from the licensing committee meeting held August 18th, 2026. Don?
Mayor, we're looking for two new beverage operators licenses for Gavin Pope and Randa Hanwaha.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it.
Next, we're looking for a temporary Class B beer license for the Rotary Club of Mitchell Field, 5th Annual Fall Food Truck Frenzy. Peter May is the organizer, October 4th, 2026, at Retner Park, 4230 South Kirkwood.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it.
Next, we have a renewal for beverage operators license for Rebecca Varley.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it.
And we had one license that was denied due to the fact of application issues. She'll be reapplying, and that is all from licensing, Mayor.
Thank you, Don. Action be taken from finance? None. Action be taken from bargaining? None. Action be taken from Board of Public Works? None, because that was already addressed, Sean?
Correct, we addressed that at the August
Thank you.
18th meeting.
Action be taken from the Planning Commission? None. Resolutions and ordinances? None. Discussion items with possible action. Special event through the City of St. Francis Days Parade, September 5th, 2026.
I'll move to approve the application, but I know there weren't signatures. I imagine that they just weren't on there, Rebecca, from the
They
police
were
and
just
fire?
signed this evening.
Okay, all right. Then I will move to approve the application.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Appointments to committees, commissions, and boards? None. Correspondence with possible action or referral? None. Unfinished business? None. Other business? None. Citizen comments. Chief, can you grab that for me? Thank you. No, you're fine. That should be my job. I'm one of the last ones up here.
It's a short walk.
Thank you, Chief. Bobby Kuhn?
Bobby Kuhn. I live at 4120 South Lake Drive, Unit 163, in the very, very special District 3. So I'm coming up here because I thought it was really interesting during the last meeting when some concerns were brought up about the flock cameras. I actually had never known anything about them, so I wanted to do some research on it. I heard different opinions from the city council and from people that were in the audience, so I just wanted to share what some of my research actually came up with. The primary legal question is whether Flock's automated license plate readers constitute a search under the Fourth Amendment. Proponents argue that public search captures require no warrant. Critics citing Carpenter versus United States 2018 contend that long-term aggregated trafficking creates a detailed mosaic of a person's movements and associations that should require judicial oversight. In January 2026, the critical vulnerability exposed live feeds from Flock's Condor cameras to the public internet without authentication, allowing viewing, archiving, and deletion of footage. Security researchers later found over 60 exposed administrative interfaces via simple search queries. In April 2026, reports indicated Flock employees improperly accessed feeds at sensitive locations such as gymnastic studios, pools, fitness centers, which the company's CEO described as poor judgment. And to note, Flock is not a government agency, it is a private company. Investigations across 12 states, including Wisconsin, have identified dozens of officers misusing the systems. A review by the Institute of Justice found 14 to 18 confirmed cases of officers using ALPR data to stalk romantic partners, ex-spouses, or acquaintances. In Milwaukee alone, an officer resigned after tracking a lover 124 times. In Savannah, 6 employees were fired just this month for similar violations. In a recent Wisconsin case, officers drew guns on a woman after Flock cameras mistakenly flagged her vehicle in a homicide investigation twice. Audits frequently uncover hundreds of unauthorized searches only after the fact. Audits are almost always reactive. Mountain View, California learned federal agencies had accessed its data for a year only after media pressure. San Francisco uncovered 299 improper outside queries only after external scrutiny. Officers routinely entered vague justifications such as investigation, susp, or even he.
Bobby, 15 more seconds.
So in short, the combination of high false positive rates, documented abuse, porous retention rules, and reactive rather than preventive oversight leads many jurisdictions to conclude that the privacy and civil liberty costs outweigh the benefits, especially where crime rates are already low, such as in St. Francis. Thank you.
Thanks, Bobby. Marty?
Good evening. Marty Sahorsky, 3535 East Sevier. We're going to keep on talking about the Triangle Project. Again, our group is against, Community for the Triangle is against 300 units on a triangle and 600 parking spaces. We had talked about the risk financial risk to the taxpayers because if the companies, developers, or builders go belly up, then the taxpayers are on the hook. And the best we can tell, right now, the city's on the hook for $50 million between the general fund obligations and TID obligations. We have millions every year of interest payments. I may not be accurate, and I'll qualify that because I'm trying to get the most accurate information, most accurate financial information. The other thing that our group is a little bit disappointed and frustrated about is that the Common Council keeps on indicating that there is no current plan available. Yet yesterday, we had a gentleman from Pinnacle Engineering go through our yard and did some surveying of the wetlands behind me, delineated wetlands behind me for drainage. Now, so there has to be a plan. And you know, so I'm asking, as polite as I can, you know, if you have something that you're working off of, we'd like to see it. So we also want to make sure that there's no additional developer incentives just given away to people. So appreciate your time. Appreciate you coming out on a rainy night. It's scary out there. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Marty. Greg? I'll be way off on my time. I'll be way off on my time.
Okay. I'm Greg Reichelt, 4069 South Lake Drive. I'm not here to express my personal viewpoint on flock cameras. Okay, on the morning of Wednesday, April 8th, I went to the city's website and saw that there was a Board of Public Works meeting that night, and the issue of flock cameras was on the agenda. That piqued my interest, so I attended the meeting. At the beginning of the meeting, one of the board members stated that prior to the meeting, he requested permission to invite someone who is more familiar with the flock camera systems to the meeting so they could answer questions that the board members may have. But that request was denied. That led to a heated argument between the board member and Alderman Fyer. There was strong emotion, strife, and some yelling involved. Then there was some, but limited dialogue between the board members regarding the issues pertaining to flock cameras. There were more questions than answers. Flock cameras are a hot button issue in our country, and this issue deserves due diligence. But although it was obvious that there were unanswered questions and concerns by the board members, with more strong emotion, Alderman Fyer called for a vote. It was obvious that he is a supporter of flock cameras, and he rammed the vote through without due diligence. This was a blatant abuse of his authority. The vote by the board and the Common Council regarding flock cameras should be considered invalid and should be retracted so due diligence can be performed before a new vote. In addition, due to this being such a major concern in our country, state, and city, this issue deserves a public forum prior to another vote. All right, thank you for your time. I do appreciate the
Greg.
work you guys do.
Thank you. All right, moving on. Department heads. Young William.
Be brief tonight. Two items, the PPI project, which was recently completed. We are just in the process of completing that report. Once that report is completed, two things will happen. We will submit for reimbursement with MMSD, and secondly, we'll have a list of recommendations, not only for MMSD, but also for city staff as some of the low-hanging fruit to address the inflow and infiltration. Secondly, the 2026 street improvements have been completed. We are just going through the punch list right now. We have received one pay request, which we're in the process of reviewing, which we expect will be recommended for payment at the next council meeting. And with that, I'll pass.
Thank you. Chief?
I'll be brief as well. We have the Joint Fire Training Academy, the second class of the year, starting the Tuesday after Labor Day. We have our dual enrollment student. So we sponsored a student. We had a student who went to high school half the days, and half the days either went to MATC for fire technology or EMS classes, or came to the firehouse and did an internship. He graduated high school in June. When he graduated, he already had his EMT state of Wisconsin license and his Fire 1 certificate. So he's going through the fire academy, and we have him scheduled for a paramedic class in January. So that's upon graduation from high school. So I hope to have him on board in our department within about a year or so after he completes his paramedic schooling. I haven't spoken to anybody since, but the triathlon went on. I don't want to say without a hitch, but everything was mitigated and handled very well. We have a 2-year hiatus now before the triathlon comes back, so they're not due back in our region or in Milwaukee until 29 and 30. At the National Night Out, we did roast corn. We roasted corn for donations, and the donations we'll be sending just shy of $1,000 to the Young Bluth family. He was the Eau Claire firefighter that was a line of duty death last month. He left behind a wife of 1 or 2 years and a 9-month-old newborn. Passed away of a brain aneurysm after a head injury on duty. So we're going to send a check up to there. And with that, I pass.
Chief?
I would like to give a shout out and a thank you to every single person that helped make National Night Out what it was. It was an incredible success. I've been going to National Night Outs for about 30 years, and this was my first one in St. Francis, and I can honestly say it was one of the best I've ever been a part of. So especially thank you to the residents and the community members that came to enjoy it. DPW Dave and his crew were absolutely outstanding in helping putting all the barriers up and making sure that our vendors had spaces and tearing down afterward. Obviously, I want to thank the fire department for participating as well, and any volunteer that came out to help put on the event and make it what it became. And we, as a police department, consider it an honor to be a part of it, to be able to participate with it. But it's truly the community that comes together and puts it on and makes it what it is. I'd also like to thank the residents for their patience and understanding when it came to the triathlon. I know it's not a police department thing, it's a city thing. I think it's great for the region, and I know sometimes that it can be a little inconvenient, for a few hours, but I do appreciate everybody's patience and their understanding. With that, I pass.
Thank you, Chief. Very well said. Rebecca?
Last week's election went off without a hitch as well. We had about a 42% overall city turnout, which was a little higher than our average of a fall partisan primary, which is usually around the 30 to 35% range. I would like to also thank the DPW, who really does help an incredible amount with elections. It's kind of, they're the unsung heroes of any city government. It's really the Department of Public Works, because they are public workers and they support everything that we do. So I really, really appreciate everybody helping. We had computers to set up this time. They always are very helpful for me, so I appreciate that. Misty did fantastic. Also a huge, huge help to our entire staff and office. I will be getting letters out in the next day or two to all of the applicants. There were 13 applicants for the 3rd aldermanic district position that will be considered at the special meeting coming up. So I'll have next steps ready for them forthcoming, and that's all I have this evening.
Thank you, Rebecca. Paul?
I'm going to pass this evening, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Pass, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Debbie?
I just want to thank all the volunteers and all the departments too. I thought National Night Out was great. And the same thing, I'd like to thank all the poll workers and all that help for the voting. I think that we really appreciate them too. I know they go through a lot, so I'm grateful for all of them.
Thank you. Steve? Thank you. Don?
I'm not going to sit here and try and convince people that we don't have any idea of what's going on the triangle, because that would be pure unadulterated bullshit. And I have never bullshitted people and will never do that on this common council. What is going on right now is negotiation as to what buildings they want to put where, what streets they want to do in. We have no final. And I'm not at liberty to bring it up or disclose it, so I'm not going to. But when we have people from the community that start out with, we have issues with this and we have issues with that and we have money issues. Now, I don't really exactly know what the totals are. You already have distrust because you're bringing up a fact that you don't know where the money's coming from. And you expect me to give you something that if they change, because it's not solid in their proposal, we haven't gotten that yet, and if they change something, you'll be jumping on our back because that's not what was proposed, that's not what I got, that's not what I saw, that's not what I've had. And I've been listening to that now for about 3 or 4 months. It's getting a little old. So you can have your opinion, and we will have our opinion to agree to disagree, because we are not going to agree on everything. And I think that I have been very patient with the community, because everybody on this dais has the city's good at heart. Nobody is here to start setting something up that's going to be a distraction or a disaster for the city. And I don't like being thrown into that basket as being somebody who is out to destroy the city instead of making the vast, great improvements that the city has made. Now, Mark will never come out and say what's going on with the business aspects of the city, with our ratings and all that, because he brings it up once and then he won't bring it up again. But the city is in good financial, stable spot right now, and we've always been in this financial spot, even when Ralph Voltner ran the city. Didn't always agree with his motives, but he was financially good for the city. And I am here to say that in my time here, that has been the major goal, and I think we've accomplished it. And with that, I pass.
Thank you, Don. Sean?
We get comments here at these meetings, and it's a revisionist view of what's really happening. Developers bring surveyors. Developers have to have a surveyor to know what they're getting themselves into. They have to assess the property. They have to assess what they're walking into. They have to know what the DNR issues are, what the wetland issues are. They can't come into it blind, and they're not going to come into it blind. These surveyors are a product of the developer. Contrary to what you're being told by other people this evening, it is not a city function. That is a developer function. And it's their due diligence to make sure they're doing the right thing, entering into a business agreement with the bank, not just the city, to make sure they're investing properly in this property. To spin it as something else is disingenuous, and I'm getting kind of tired of the misrepresentation of what is happening to the rest of this community. The developer has to put together a product that's going to work for them. And if people are out there trying to discourage that, shame on them. We need to put our best foot forward for this city. As far as the meeting you referenced, that became a personal attack on a city employee, which is when I stepped in. Those meetings are not that place for that. They are not allowed to be a punching ground for a non-committee member who's an ad hoc attendee. So yes, I spoke up, and yes, I shut that discussion down, but don't spend it as something it wasn't. We as committee members don't have the right to call department heads to meetings. I can't call Chief Poplar and either of the chiefs and tell them, I want you to be at that meeting that night. They don't answer to me. They don't answer to committee members. When it became a personal attack is when I shut that discussion down. So don't spin it as anything it wasn't. And I didn't say I was necessarily in favor of Flock. We said at the last meeting we would evaluate it and watch for concerns. I also addressed that there are numerous other ways that you are being monitored that are far more invasive than a Flock camera. That was my discussion at the last meeting. So don't spin us into some evil, sinister group up here. We're not. We have the best interests of this city as a whole. I've been here for 27 years. I've been a proud member of this community. I raised all 4 of my children here. I didn't just come in the last 5 or 6 years. This has been my community of choice in Southeast Wisconsin for a reason. This community has good, strong values, people that care about this community. People know what you do in this community. They can't say that in Bayview, Oak Creek, Milwaukee. In this community, people know what's going on. And I'm proud to be a member of this community. And yes, we do take offense when derogatory things are thrown our way. And 2 of us are very outspoken, and we've never hidden that from anybody. And that's not going to change overnight. But I do try not to yell. And on that, I'll close.
Thank you, Sean. First of all, National Night Out. Chief, your department of volunteers, once again, not only a home run, but bases were loaded. It was fantastic. Rebecca, this is your first time doing it.
Doing what?
without Ann here, and you hit a home run. You did awesome. You and your clerks, any little problem came up, you guys, Jane on the spot, fixed everything. Amazing. You guys should get a big hand. And then for the DPW, I'll save them for last because they've done the most. Busy month of August, storms, National Night Out, setting up for the triathlon, setting up for voting. They've been busting their butts in August, and we can't give them more money, but if you see them, say thank you. They kicked butt this month. And with that, can I get a,
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All against? We are adjourned, and thank you for everyone that's coming. Be safe out there,
everybody,
please.
this evening.